Hello, people. It is I, Mal, and welcome to POV Point of View. In today's episode, I really don't know how long this episode is going to be at all, in hindsight now, but I'm gonna end up rambling or whatever, so it should be a little fun. So, a few things I want to get out first before we, dive deep into the realm of my imagination or my mindset is that I am considering thinking about bringing back some of the other POV extras such as the interviews or like the reviews. And I might end up doing a POV mal review on these said shows. I might end up doing it on. The first one is going to be whatever what like that dang it stuttering. Whenever one of the two like Halloween themed pay-per-views or big events or supercard events happen, such as CWF Friday Night or World Championship calls Halloweeny. I think that's how you pronounce it. Like those two will be like my first, maybe my one of my return like mal reviews or whatever, like POV specials. And I might have to make a set rule on how I do it and how I'm actually gonna review it. The interviews, just interviews, same thing. But the new difference between them two is that they're gonna have these motion backgrounds like you see right now. Damn, I love them. Maybe look a lot more professional. But yeah, that's what's coming back. And I might do another POV extras, which will be like a little flashback where me and y'all react or rewatch one of my old shows, matches, or whatever, or just react or reaction to like a show. Like I'll put the whole thing up, have a little fancy background for the reactions, and we'll just watch it, react to it, commentate while there's commentary, or something like that, like a watch along. Speaking of that, I might end up doing like a watch along to like live shows or such. Real wrestling or Ife wrestling, either or depends. I really don't mind. So that's some stuff I might end up doing lately down the line, probably like sooner or later. But I'm gonna make sure I got time for that, and I'm going to make sure I got notes this time instead of doing my blind whatever. I'm going to start taking notes on the shows I'm going to react to, and react review, and yeah. And I think my review system is gonna be like, if the show's good, I will say it's good. If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. If it's meh, I'll say it's meh. It could be in between all those. It could be one or two, and it's basically just I'm gonna give you my thoughts and all that, and give them more exposure, which they deserve, because in the EFID community, we need to help each other up, bring each other back up, and have fun. Now, for this episode of the POV podcast or whatever the shit is, I'm going to give y'all a little insight of what's going to end up going on throughout the whole Color TV and Zero channel. So, for the NAW side of things, NAW is going to come back doing weekly stuff for 3 months, which is going to be October, basically this month, November and December. We're going to keep doing weekly shows. We're going to have 3 matches per episode. The only reason why there's five matches on that episode is due to the fact that one, it's a return episode, and we're going back to our roots. So, in a 3 month span, we're not going to be in the normal NAW arena for Turbo, the Spike Dome and Fire Pro. We're not going to be in there for like 3 months. We're going to be to the SCS arena for the big events. And yeah, so for those 3 months, 3 matches inside of a small venue, which technically we're not gonna have no entrance for that stuff. So because behind the scenes, I'm going to start working on the edits or wrestlers, whatever you want to call them. Make sure that they work properly and review them, because as time goes on, we evolve as a well. And if we want to take EFED to like a realistic standpoint, as time goes on, they have evolved and gotten better. Next thing about the NAW stuff, the big event's gonna have 5 matches. Maybe for homecoming might have 7, but that depends, because we're going back to our roots and me trying to start over to write a new chapter of growing and evolving of NAW as it is. So what else is on the NAW side of things? Okay, for the October event, Gold Standard might have 5 matches, but one of the matches gonna be long. What I mean is that match is going to be the gauntlet match. First of all, the October event is going to be called Gold Standard. Gold Standard is basically like my somewhat of Royal Rumble like show, but without the battle royal invert tail style. How that's going to work is this, right? It's going to be a gauntlet, maybe a 5-man gauntlet, 5, 6, 7, depending on how I'm gonna do things. Like the gauntlet is gonna be like the normal gauntlet rule. One person come in, the other person come in, 1-on-1. The first pinfall, core submission, that person is eliminated until the next person comes in, and yada yada yada. The gauntlet, the winner of the gauntlet will go to homecoming in the main event. Homecoming is like it's like my B version of Wrestle Empire. Like homecoming is basically just homecoming. Like it's December. Let's celebrate the fact that we first of all we're back. Damn, that was loud. My bad. But first of all, let's celebrate the fact that NNW is back and we are better and we're going to make things more fun. And probably the whole scheduling for next year will be a lot different. Maybe depends on everything that's going on outside of my EFET life. What else? Um, let's see what else going on in the world. Oh yeah, the 3 new, well, not new, but the 3 NAW shows, like the big events, is going to be Gold Standard, Salvation, and Homecoming. Those are the 3 shows that's going to be back. Well, for this year and for this, little mini season of the returning of NAW. And another thing that's also going to happen on Zero, I'm going to bring back superstars, and I might end up bringing back Art of Wrestling for another version of it, where we're going to do the little housely shows, like small events and all that with the ALW stars and all that. Pro Wrestling Forever, that's a little bit of a situational thing because of the data got like because I had to reset my computer, so most of my like art and like graphics are done. They're not there anymore. So I'm having a hard time like trying to remake the Pro Wrestling Forever logo to make it look correctional and right and everything, especially the Royal Crowning graphics. So I don't know about that thing going to happen. Another thing that I'm actually doing is Frontline is going to, do their 4 weekly shows, and then might do the next 4. Like Frontline's going to be more of a taped show, because first of all, it's 2K, man. 2K is going to fuck my life up. Not really, but like my history with 2K is that I make it so far that I fail. Like it just stopped. But for this one, I got an idea. I'm not gonna like pressure myself for every 4 weeks. It's a big pay-per-view. No, I'm doing things like the old like one of my friends feds. Well, yeah, feds, two UK feds that I really love so much. One of them is New York City Wrestling, and the other one is fucking World Championship calls. So it's gonna be like a couple weeks. The end of it, probably like bi-weekly. Depends. No, no, not bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Every 2 months or some shit. I have to think about it. Frontline's gonna do his own thing. Frontline is his own entity, so that's something else. It's in the same universe as my feds are in, and probably many other feds. But yeah. And now I want to talk about this 3TP thing, right? This 3TP thing that I'm might end up hosting and might need to get some stuff ready for it. It's this 3TP thing, big event, because I officially talked with Erwin, one of my buddies in the 2K scene, also one of the best commentators in New Exchange Wrestling with his partner. They are a funny duo, bruh. They are the one of the best duo like commentators of all 2K I ever seen. That's just my fucking opinion, all right? That's my opinion, and I said 2K for it because 2K have more freedom for the e-feds, but Fire Pro has more like amazing like sim simulation, CPUs. But anyways, the 3TP event that's going to be held, the first one is going to be called Union Station. Shut up. I know it's a train thing. I know it's like a train railroad shit. That's the fucking gimmick. Okay. That's the theme of the show, not like the gimmick of the show. The gimmick's not about trains or anything. No. It's just the theme of the show. The show theme is train theme, okay? When I was a little boy, I loved trains. I love trains. I love Thomas the Tank Engine. I really do. So so here's how things gonna work. So my bad, I was doing something, but like here's how the show is gonna be like, right? It's gonna be a 3TP special event. I don't know which channel it's gonna be on or who's gonna edit the show, but I might end up editing it, okay? Because I want something to do. Maybe not. I might just record the matches to put on the drive and just give it to somebody to edit it. But other than that, the show is going to be basically like a supercar, like a super event, or like a collaboration event with all the feds associated with 3TP. Might be 7 matches because first of all, it's not really a big event. So, well, big event like how I'm thinking that our super event going to be like, but it's just going to be like a in your house maybe. I don't in your house. That might be something for down the line. Not the name, but how we're going to do it. But the 3CP thing, I'm still thinking and planning and plotting it. All I can say is that it's going to feature some of the feds and 3TP once I get stuff ready for it. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot entertaining than I thought it was actually going to be. Would the matches be sim? Most likely. I said most likely because I know I want to like choreography some of the other matches to make it look good. But like the thing is with the choreography thing, which I'm gonna talk later about, it'll be a little frustrating, especially with the editing and especially with like making sure that everything is not like fuck with. You don't want to give off the illusion of you trying to make him win because that's your favorite. Nah, that's not how it works. So Union Station is coming soon. I made the graphic version 1. So yeah, I'm going to start doing something with it sooner or later. I'm going to make the arena and most likely it'll be like in a like a dome or a hall. So Nothing big and fancy though. Just saying. But unless I want to go it in the UK arena, we'll see. Next thing, okay. Next thing to like fuck with. All right, so okay, so I want to talk about some things that's with the whole EFED thing. All right, this is for 2K, okay? Somewhat Fire Pro, but this is mostly 2K stuff because that's what we mostly do in 2K. But in Fire Pro, unless there's certain thing we are doing is different. So this is a thing I like to call simming versus choreography. Simulation s- is basically a simulation. Like you just let the CPU do its thing. Simulation is one of the best things to do if you're going to if you want well first if you don't feel confident in your skills of the wrestling game you're using for your fed and something you just want to do randomly generated so that you could have more certain of a material for your storylines or something like that. Simulation feds are mostly like fireproof feds, in my opinion, or some 2K feds if they doing a certain thing. So I don't got no problem with both of them simulating and choreography, but first we are talking about um simming. So simming has its ups and its downs. Simulations, well, basically same thing. Like the whole simulation problem is that this is for like other games besides Fire Pro. Well, somewhat Fire Pro, because depending on how you make the fucking wrestler. The problem with simulation is the fact that when a certain game, the simulation that the CPU is absolutely garbage. It's fucking bad, horrendous. For example, 2K. God damn. 2K has some ups and downs with the simulation, but for real, 2K is just 2K. Like, what do you expect from it? 2K is more of a choreograph like engine for EFED, to be honest with you. Fire Pro is more of a simulation for the EFED, but the downs for the Fire Pro simulation is that depending on the wrestler you're using and how his CPU is going to either be a short simulation match or a fucking squash. There's a difference between short and squash. Short is that it could be a short simulation match because both wrestlers are beating the shit out of each other. They're doing heavy damage to each other, and then the match just ended abruptly. A squash is that it's one sided. When I say depending on the CPU of the logic of the Fire Pro simulation, that could be bad. It's the fact you can make that one person fucking a monster, even though you have a limited like basically percentage you could fuck with in the CPU. You can still make that motherfucker a damn monster. For example, the old school Ajax off of CWF. This motherfucker, the motherfucker who made Ajax for CWF had another version of it back in the day. Trust me, I was with Fire Pro World when CWF first started, or somewhat before it first started, cause I forgot what day he started it or whatever. But I remember was on the workshop and I saw the old version of Ajax, and he made two versions: a fucking steroid jacked, unstoppable force, irresistible force Ajax version, and the Ajax he used for his fed. The other Ajax version was a fucking killer. Spear, 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 spear. I will break your fucking ribs because I'm Ajax. That mother, I'd never downloaded him because I was scared for my life to know that he would kill everybody in my fucking roster at that time. So you can make a beast. You can make someone who could just cheat the fucking game out of the damn luck. Like goddamn. So the pros of simulation is that it's random. It's random. And plus sometimes you got some good simulations here or there on 2K, but most of the time on Fire Pro you get the most outrageous, the most funnest, the most edge of your seat fucking simulations on Fire Pro. Yeah, like you get that on Fire Pro. Of course you get that on Fire Pro because you're the main one fucking with their logic and you can make them look like damn superstars. Like I feel like on Fire Pro Simulation, anybody can make a fucking 7-star match. But it depends on what when I say anybody, damn it. Damn, I gotta rephrase that again. When I mean by anybody, I mean like I had to drink my sugar, well, my tea with some sugar in it because I had the other tea with no sugar. That shit was nasty as fuck. But the simulation that you can make a freaking 7-star match out of is how you make with the logic of the two wrestlers, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 wrestlers. You could have a freaking 7-star tag team match with the simulation inside Fire Pro. You could do that. But with the Fire Pro simulation, it could go oh so far. It depends on how much damage the motherfucker take or give that the match should be long and drag out and fucking amazing. Now, I need to stop being loud. Now let's go to choreography. The choreography side of the ethos of gaming is basically it's fun, but it's also frustrating as hell. Choreography in the ethos terms is basically playing out a match without trying to win. In my definition, here's what I mean by that. You could play the match like this is mostly for 2K, okay? You playing the match, right? You playing the match against the CPU or your own self if you have two controls and you're a god of PS5. What the fuck? you, fuck. Let me start that. My bad. You could choreography a match against the CPU or yourself. What I mean by that for yourself is that you have two fucking controllers and you playing the match with both controllers, but make the illusion that you're not like playing against the CPU. You're also playing against yourself. For example, the highlight reel. You could turn the angles and all this shit to make it seem like they're fighting back or whatever. Or without the highlight reel, you can switch like controller assignments if you don't have an extra controller. Now I'm lightheaded. Now let me breathe real quick. All right. So the choreography side of things of the e-feds of gaming feds is a bit tricky. What I mean by that is that when you choreography a match, it's more of like a story type of thing, or you want to give out a certain character for that other wrestler. The choreography of the whole problem with choreography is that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of retries. It takes a lot of stopping recording, pausing recording, start recording on certain things. It takes a lot of fucking time. That's why most 2K feds doesn't go weekly. Like that's why 2K feds doesn't really go weekly like that. They take like a 1 month or bi-weekly or some shit like that. Or they do live and they don't really choreography. They just sim the bitch live. But yeah, choreography has its pros. The pros things of the choreography like style is more like you can make the match how you envision it. It won't be the whole 100% vision, but it will be as what you think it will be. Like if it's a rival match, you could choreography the shit out of it, man. If it's not a like a rivalry match, you can sim it. Like there's options with that. You could have a sim choreography fed, or just an e fed as it is. It's it's like real wrestling. It's scripted, but same time you're trying to make it fun and entertaining as hell. So here's some things about the choreography thing. Some choreography shit you could do with 2K mostly is that you could use the cutscenes out of create a video, which really should have been create a story, and you can use the cutscenes and you can just do what you do. Oh shit! But yeah, the cutscenes of the joint can actually help the choreography a lot better. For example, somebody come out, interfere, and all that shit. That's it. Choreography and Fire Pro. I don't really think there is a choreography in Fire Pro unless you actually depends how you put it, okay? You can have a short match and you play it to be a short match, and that's it. Or I guess this is doesn't count as choreography. I think this counts as something else, like a scripted. Or you could do like promos on Fire Pro. You got to use a mod. The the interference attack is also a mod thing. It's like you you can't technically choreography Fire Pro. Most of the shit is not even like made to be choreography. Will choreograph, unlike 2K. That's just me though. That's just my point of view of all that. Because that been on my mind lately because of Frontline. Frontline, I just for the first 4 episodes, it's mostly choreographed because I just want to like make everybody seem like they have a certain like character. That's the thing I do with Fire Pro. Well, mostly with Fire Pro, it's just a sim. I mostly want the character to be out there. 2K, you can barely do that due to like you can't mess with the CPU. So you gotta do it manually. You got to do the taunts, you got to do the moves a certain way, you got to execute everything a certain way, you got to talk a certain way, and you gotta do everything like a certain way for the character to be more original and different from everybody else in your roster. Does that make any sense? But yeah, like most of the time when it comes down to fedding, if you just handling one wrestler and someone else is fed, you got to make sure your character is out there. Everything else is everything else. So what I recommend simming choreography, I wouldn't recommend nothing. I would just say you do you. You could use both. You could technically do both. Like you could technically do like both of the shit, man. So yeah, but yeah, like technically you could do like both of them. Like you could just use both of the motherfuckers and just do you. Like for real, that's all you could do. It's fun as hell doing both. To be honest with you, because for the simming side of things, you could do it for Fire Pro. Choreography things, you could do it for fucking this. Like you could do. It's fucking amazing what you could do for the feds to make the matches a lot more entertaining and special and more entertaining as it is. It's fucking amazing what you could do with the games. Very fucking amazing. Shit, my god. Well, I guess I could end this part of the podcast and start, I might do another thing for the podcast, such as like maybe say what's my favorite fed of this week or whatever, but I'd rather not do that because I really don't got a favorite. I don't have favorites for any fucking feds or anything. But what I mean by that is that I don't have my favorite feds because I like to watch anything I could find that's actually fucking entertaining and original. Comedy feds, one thing. Like I need to laugh, man. But everything else, I might have my favorite wrestler out of the Fed, but that's not my favorite Fed because of him or her or they have a good match. Matter of fact, match of the match of the moment for me is Kathy Cross. Oh fuck, match of the moment. Match of the moment is basically from the time from the other podcast episode to this podcast episode. That's a moment for me. So my recommended match of the moment is Kathy Cross versus Victoria Wolf at the latest episode of World Championship Calls. I forgot which episode it was. I think it was episode if I could go to the bitch. No, shut up. Episode 25. No, 26 actually. Yeah. Episode 26 of World Championship Calls. The first match. So so basically episode 26 of World Championship Calls of the weekly show. The first match, Kathy Cross versus Victoria Wolf. Fucking amazing contest between these two women. And it was for the WCC World Championship Calls Women's Championship. Because the story behind the match is that due to the new management shit of World Championship Calls, the um the wife of the fucking cunt of himself, Lee Clay, like due to that bullshit between like the woman's management of championship calls and Kathy Cross was bullshit because apparently Kathy don't have the certain look of a woman's champion, which was bullshit from the get-go. So what she did is that she literally, due to Kathy Cross don't want to give up the fucking belt because of bullshit like that. Now it's like a 24/7 type bullshit, like the hardcore title called the 24/7 title called the Iron Man Heavy Metal Championship. 24/7's 365 days a week. What the fuck? 24/7 championship mode every day. And so far she's killing legitimately every fucking woman that came across her. Even Victoria Cross. What Victoria Cross? Victoria Wolf. That match was fucking epic. I want y'all to go watch it. That match deserves a fucking yellow. So that was the episode. Thank you guys for listening to my bullshit, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, and now my favorite catchphrase, ciao.